Hey, it's Joe. This is 021, episode 5. Today we were doing a little bit more of a deeper dive into pricing of notes. And the way that we really want to do that is after we've done our filtering, which we kind of talked about briefly yesterday, to filter down from 500, let's say, to 10, 12 notes that we were looking to purchase. After we get into that, we're going to want to really look at the numbers, right? Figure out what our yield is going to be. As well as figuring out what we're going to offer, right? So if we're on like paperstack.com and we've filtered through and we've found the notes that we're looking for, and we're wanting to dig a little bit deeper into that, most of the time you're going to have sellers who are going to be offering a percentage of the unpaid balance. And that can range. Today we're talking about performing notes. That's the simplest and safest, most secure way to get into the notes business, right? A performing note that's been paying for, 24 of the last 24 months, right? Or even 23, something like that. Very strong borrower, strong asset. You're going to be buying these higher end, right? Probably over 90% of UPB. And so what we want to make sure we avoid are certain mistakes like there's the common saying of getting drunk on yield. As an investor, to only concentrate on yield, to only look at that as a way of defining your investment strategy. Now, yield is a good thing. We definitely want to get the highest possible yield we can, but we want to look at other factors, right? Is this a note that you're buying in a nice part of town that's got a good borrower and is going to be in that house and paying for the next 20 years, or paying off that loan eventually? If that's the case, you might not be hitting your 15% yield or 12% yield. You might be more at an 8 or even a 7. And in those scenarios, you have to kind of weigh whether or not it is a valuable asset to be purchasing. For me, I focus on the cash flow, right? How can I replace my job, the job that I'm currently working, the job that is perfectly satisfying and I'll continue to do for the rest of my life, but if I can get my investments to pay for that, then everything that I do for my job is extra. And that's what we're really looking for. That's the financial independence that we want. So getting drunk off of yield, we don't want to do that. And also, being too fast for your rules of thumb. Your rules of thumb are a great way for you to filter, right? Filter your tapes. And it's also a good way to define a general sense of what you're looking for in notes. But you always have to kind of look at each individual asset when we're purchasing it and decide whether or not that it could be worth your time, right? If you're only going to purchase notes at 70% of value or 75% of unpaid balance, you're going to miss out on a lot of different opportunities. And so it's okay to bend those rules of thumb a little bit in order to continue to find good assets. But all of this comes down to what it is that you're trying to do. What is it you're trying to do with your money? And that's why I like the note business. The note business can be very flexible, and it can provide us all a lot of ways to find a secure investment that we can parlay into cash flow. So if you're somebody who's interested in maybe even utilizing your IRA, your self-directed retirement accounts or anything like that, you purchase performing notes. That's what we do. We're doing that. We use our retirement accounts to purchase those notes. That way we know it's just safe, secure, set it and forget it kind of thing. And if we're going into the non-performing side, which we have yet to do, but we are researching, that is more of a growth model, right? We turn our $15,000 investment into a $30,000 note or something like that. And if that's something you guys are interested in, please visit us at wisechoicecapital.com. This has been an intensive learning experience for me, and even doing these videos. I'm not that comfortable doing them. I'm getting better, and I'd really like for them to be a little bit more interactive for anybody who eventually watches. This being, the first kind of foray into the notes business world, learning about it and wanting to present this information that I am learning. So it's kind of about backing into the price that you're going to pay, is my final kind of comment on this. You can have an idea of what you want to do. You can have your parameters that you like to hit. But when we're analyzing individual notes, we really want to take each note or group of notes as they come, right? And look for ways to make that deal work. Don't outstretch yourself. But just because it doesn't have the yield you're looking for, doesn't mean you don't want to pay it. I mean, it doesn't mean it's a good note. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. Anyways, I hope everybody's having a great day, and happy 420.